We are back for the next exciting episode of Season 7. This is number 3 already. And with that, we're going to be going from Waterloo to World War III. So get ready. In 3, 2, 1, and I don't have my music ready. So way to go, Schmucklehead. So here we go.
0.5.
Big Duke 6 Eagle Thrust. Put on side war up. Sing it loud. This is a Romeo Foxtrot. Shall we dance?
You are listening to the SITREP podcast, your source for everything related to historical wargaming. Whether you are looking for the latest wargaming news, reviews, painting tutorials, or playthroughs, you will hear about it right here. So grab your favorite beverage or brush and let's hit it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the next episode. And at the table, because we really like this setup, being face-to-face, so we can really, just chew the fat and make fun of each other and actually see what, So we think it creates a better interaction. And we are live on camera. Hello, everybody. So now you can listen to us while you're painting at a later time as normal with the podcast. Or you can jump in and watch us live and see what goes on behind the scenes. So here we go. So sitting to my left is Mr. Chris.
Howdy.
And then Mr. Martin.
Sup. Morning.
So today's another big day here at the SITREP Podcast Studios, as not only do we have an episode to record, but we have a game to finish.
That's right. The back half of our Rourke's Drift game. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, they can kind of see it.
I was going to say, if you look out through the double doors, you can kind of see the table set up out there.
Yeah. So, all right. So going forward, as we like to do historically, is what have you guys been up to over the last 2 weeks? Anybody like to start?
So do you want to tell him nothing before I do, or
Nothing game related. How about that? I did find some colored acrylic. Yep.
Yeah,
that
keep
we
going.
can use
Buy
for
merch.
The Midway campaign.
Oh, yeah?
yeah, we
Nice.
were talking about using like red clear acrylic bases for the Japanese and the blue ones for the Americans.
Yeah. Most definitely. All right, well, I'm going to bring up the chat window so when people start popping into chat, and I am going to overlay it just because we can. All right. That's cool. So what do you got? Found blue?
I found blue. There's a couple shades of blue, so you're going to have to decide.
Okay.
We'll have the courses of action briefing for you later today.
Courses of action briefing.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. That sounds like official and all that.
That's right.
All right. Awesome. Martin?
Yeah, so I haven't done crap historical related. I mean, it's been super busy for me, particularly at work recently.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I have not done a whole lot. I did bust out my Zombicide guys and prime them, but that's it.
You know what? Sometimes you need a break, from one genre or,
I paint a lot of green and brown.
Right.
Although, with painting these dudes, a lot of red and blue.
So yeah. So today, as part of our show, we're going to talk about a era of warfare where you can paint all kinds of colors. So, yeah, I brought research material with me.
So I didn't know there was homework.
Right. I have research material. I have things to show off from White Dragon Miniatures. They sent us review models.
All right.
And I
Cool,
have,
white
we're going to do a
box.
quick mention on the Army Painter War Paints, the air ones. They have little metal ball bearings in them. And talk about just a little bit of everything. And then, there's a little brouhaha happen over there in Eastern Europe. And
Weird. It's almost like
Jim predicted it. Didn't Jim do a series on the Ukraine at one point?
He did back.
Was it 2014, right?
Well, that's when the invasion was. When did he do? I don't remember when he did it now, but yeah, the 2014 was the last invasion, and then that was our scenario when we did the Ultra Combat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
Modern.
right. We were in Ukraine for that.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did it. We built the Ukraine table and a bunch of houses and had a
Oh crap! I totally I forgot it was the Ukraine. Man, look at
Yeah.
us
Dance.
predicting,
Well,
foreshadowing.
reading the news, one of the two.
Wait, you're implying we read?
Yeah. You were.
Well,
doing
you know what?
research.
There's a lot of things you can accuse us of. Being illiterate is not one of them. We're all avid readers and many different things. So, you know,
Yeah.
we may look a little on the slow side.
Mm-hmm.
it's true. Yeah.
Act a little on the slow side. We don't drive a little on the slow side.
Generally speaking, no. That's not.
So, yeah, you know, it's just one of those things. All right. So, what have I been doing? Yeah, go
Real
ahead.
quick,
Yeah.
while we were talking about the Ukraine, shout out to my cohorts that are downrange.
Oh, did civil affairs go? Maybe.
I wasn't going to mention that, but yeah, we've got people downrange.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all over the news because this morning I was watching the news and they showed an airplane full of people going somewhere in Eastern Europe, and they're all from the 18th Airborne Corps.
Well,
they all had the dragon patch on.
Yeah, I was gonna say they already said that
Yeah.
18th and 82nd's going to Poland and a bunch of
Yeah,
other.
you know, the 82nd was going. You know, they have EDRI, so you know you already have your response battalions.
Hey, you think that's gonna be a combat jump? No, because we don't do that.
Not since
Grenada?
Panama.
Panama would have been the last
No.
legit one, right?
No, the last legit one was actually in Iraq when
Mosul?
the herd jumped in because Turkey wouldn't let them through. So the 173rd jumped in.
Yeah, Mosul.
That
It was technically a combat jump while there were no enemy there.
they could have landed, literally landed the plane.
They probably
walked
landed
off.
the plane
Come on.
after they jumped.
Look.
I know they all
Well,
just
of
want their
course they
mustard
landed
stains.
the plane after they
I
jumped.
meant at the same
Oh,
level.
okay.
I was gonna say at some point.
Well, look, anytime a paratrooper can get the opportunity to put a gold star on their jump wings,
Oh, yeah.
you know they're gonna do it.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
everybody wants the mustard stain. I
Yeah.
mean, come on, that's
Yeah. So
Well, aviation, we learned to stay inside the functioning aircraft.
I was torn.
Speaking of functioning aircraft, during a recent raid in Syria, it seems like one of them didn't.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Flashbacks to
I was gonna say that.
in 1980
or the Osama raid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
When
mean,
they blew up on the top secret Blackhawks.
I was gonna say not as
The
bad as
stealth
1980
Blackhawk.
because we never.
Yeah, we didn't lose anybody, thank God.
and we never got there. We
Right,
never,
That's true.
in the Osama raid, we got there, we took care of business, did what we had to do, but we had to leave them a helicopter.
Yeah.
That we,
Yeah.
set-
And that's what created the 160th. So was that whole mess up.
yeah, and
And Delta. So
yeah, back in the 80s there when
Yeah.
they were going to rescue the
Was it
hostages in Iran.
Eagle 1? Was that?
Eagle Claw? Was it Operation Eagle Claw?
Eagle something. It turned into Eagle
Oh, I
shit.
forgot we had the coffee on the stove.
Hey, don't forget your coffee
It's
is
on
percolating
the stove.
on the stove.
I totally forgot. Dawn just messaged, should I turn off the coffee? Yes. And I will ask her to bring the coffee pot down.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Because that's how you run. I don't know how these people can get along with, not
One
drinking
cup?
coffee. What do you do? Get like 8 hours of sleep or something? God, come on.
I wish.
So, anyways, so yeah, we got these, we got those. We're gonna talk about some rule sets
Yeah.
and just a lot of different things. So, Marty, before we start off, do we have anything news-wise?
Oh, so we got a bunch of news.
Nice.
Some feel good stories, some product releases.
No news?
I don't have a thing for him yet, dude. I have a full-time job.
And it only took you 4 hours to get to it on Wednesday.
Yeah, it
during
only
the
took me 4
snowstorm.
hours, right? Which is normally an hour and a half commute. Took me 4 hours.
So our first news item,
Yes,
shout out to Spectre Miniatures.
8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The happy birthday to them. 8 years of business. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Hold on, sorry.
It's there.
Okay.
All right. So in celebration of
We need a
that,
producer for this.
they've got an 8% off sale through tomorrow, Sunday, February 6th. By the way, so when I was looking at it on the web or on the email that I got from, I was like, it says through 4/2 through 4/6, and I'm like, or 6-4.
Yeah, you gotta remember they
It's-
do days
it-
and months backwards.
Yeah, it was the European version, and it took me a minute to realize that, and I'm like, April to June. What? I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, they do the military thing.
They
you
do
know?
it. They do it the way the
Yeah.
the rest of the EU.
Because remember when you had to sign documents in the army and you had to do the day and then you spelled out the month and then the year.
But just the first.
Yeah, or
digits.
for first 3
Yeah.
digits. That really fucked me up.
See, I can do date time group like that
Yeah.
in my head still.
Yeah.
because I did it for
Actually, when I
27
write
years.
checks, I still write it that way.
Yeah. Oh, we have another visitor at the front door.
Uh-oh.
Who could it be now?
All
Who
right.
could it be now? Yes.
I
Well,
did-
before you move on to Spectre, I want to just make a disclaimer out there. So I was upstairs. I'm actually going through stuff in my hobby room. I found a DHL pack, not open, still taped up. I'm like, what the hell is this thing? I can't read the address label, and it's all marked up. And it's been sitting there for months. I cut it open. It's full of Spectre miniatures.
What?
Yeah. Hey,
All
come
right.
on in, brother.
Oh, here we go.
If you want to grab
Now-
that chair right over, where'd the other chair go?
There's the bad ones here. I say
All
bad
right.
one because be careful when you get the dude, don't hide.
No.
Jump in.
No.
Special guest has joined the show.
Yeah.
But the
Marty will zoom in
the-
on you.
Yeah,
The-
grab the chair and come on right over here.
the seat is not attached to the frame of the chair.
Makes it easy that way.
Just don't slide around. Don't do the boot scooty.
It's great for camping if you know what I mean. And I think you do. Easy
Don't
killer.
break Dad's picture.
Oh no, yeah.
You remember that's from Dad's house.
I saw that before.
Yeah. So everybody out there in SITREP land, this is my brother Chris.
Hi, Chris.
So as you know, those guys over there in Beast of War, OTT, have brother Lloyd. I have brother Chris.
Yeah.
Jarl Greedo is testing. Hello, Jarl Greedo. I don't know who you are, but test away.
Yeah, welcome to the show, buddy.
Right?
And speaking of dope on a rope, well,
No.
not dope on a rope, but
No.
blood otherwise it's
No.
No,
He just
I'm-
insulted us.
Is he
I-
picking on my
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
wings?
Oh,
I think that's
I was
jealous.
busting on Airborne earlier.
That's a lot of
And-
jealousy.
as the guy that's not Airborne, I'm the dope on the rope.
Yeah. Aviation.
So,
So anyway, Chris, I don't have another plug-in. You know what? I'm gonna order more of these headsets, so we have 4 sets because it comes with both cables. I can get the 1/8 inch and the 1/4 8 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, and we can get him a mic
I'm sure mine.
where you
I'll
got
give
him?
you mine.
Where you got him squirreled away at?
right here.
Oh well, then
Right.
then you
Let's
give him a
go,
mic
Mike.
and I'll keep talking
You
news.
talk.
How's that?
Go.
All right, so back to Spectre Miniatures. So
Oh, stop.
but
You hit the button.
Oh no.
are
Go
we-
ahead. I'll cut it in.
Yeah. So back to Spectre Miniatures. Happy birthday, Spectre Miniatures. And I look forward to Bill giving me that entire box of DHL delivered miniatures that we have no idea what they are. He just said that he's got a box full of them. Exciting stuff. Their sale is going on through tomorrow, February 6th. And they also recently came out with a weapons pack. So you can get just like a sprue of weapons. So that's kind of cool. So you can get tows and machine guns and twin machine guns and all sorts of stuff. So if that is something that you want to upgrade or convert your figures, head on over to Spectre's webpage and get you some.
And the sale goes through when?
Through June. No, it goes through tomorrow, February 6th.
Now remember that's Greenwich Mean Time.
Yeah, it's UK time. So, the interwebs will help you figure it out because when it shuts off, well, then it's no longer on sale and you missed it.
Here in the middle of the United States, you don't think you have until midnight.
Yeah, well, you do have midnight.
There's
It's not your midnight. On a little bit of Kickstarter news, Savage Frontiers from our good friend Tim Spakowski has been delivering. I know he's been furiously sending out packages. Timmy boy, I got mine. Thank you very much. I'm super excited. That boat looks wicked awesome. And I started priming I assembled the boat and started priming the boat crew, but I have not yet put together all the other little dudes. Because I figure one thing at a time. As I said, I also busted out and primed my Zombicide set, and that's 77 figures. So
Nice.
my desk's a little full right now.
Especially when you only have 1 square foot to play with.
Yeah, pretty much. Like literally, I have one of those little 1 square cutting mats, 1 foot square cutting mats. Yeah, that's pretty much my workspace.
So anybody who's listening but not watching, you will hear that Bill is making a lot of noise. I am in the background, and in the foreground now.
Show under construction. All right.
You got a super long table.
So now, that's what she said. So now from War Games Atlantic, their latest blog newsletter, they sent out that they are about to unleash a slew of new sets now that their U.S. plastic facility is up and running. How's that? Awesome. So, and they said running full speeds, 3 shifts. So over the past couple months, they said that they completely reinvented and streamlined their operations to move plastic production to the U.S. from China. So they are no longer going to produce anything in China. It's all going to be done in the U.S.
What? Wait a minute. What?
Yeah. How's that for a news item, right? They have left China. They set up a brand new plastic facility in the U.S. They have moved every mold already from China to the U.S. because that's the long pole in the barn. You know, you can't get your molds. It doesn't matter what you got. They've sourced new suppliers for everything from box printing to product cartons to SKU labels to the little round clear stickers that seal up the ends of the boxes. So they said it took a lot longer than they hoped, as these things always seem to do. But the last hurdles have been, as they say, hurdled. And the product is starting to move out of their plastic facility now. So they got 3 shifts going. They've got plenty to produce. And 24 hours a day of new plastic goodness coming off the presses. So they're super excited about that. So I thought I would share that. Said that changes and improvements delayed some of their new releases, but now that the kinks have been worked out, those will start to arrive in the 3 global warehouses. So they've got a warehouse in the U.S., a warehouse in the UK, as well as one in Australia. So our Brits and our Aussie friends can look forward to being able to get all their goodness from War Games Atlantic over the coming weeks, with the USA being first, as they say, due to proximity to the factory. Yeah, it's on our continent. So I guess we get dibs on this one. Unlike when it was in China and we all just got hosed equally. Let's see. Next news item. Let's talk here a little bit. Footsore North America.
Yeah.
So this isn't really a new release, but it's new to me. I saw something that they had posted on Facebook, and I think they actually came out last summer, but they have they call them Naga Frogmen.
Yeah, did you? Yeah,
I didn't realize those were out. I had seen something out before, but I saw it last night, and I clicked. Go over to the webpage. I'm like, oh, those are kind of cool. So it's a set of 4 28mm metal figures that are geared for covert underwater operations. They've got fins and rebreathers and whatnot. It's a pretty good looking little set. So if you're trying to do some sort of underwater or amphibious operation, and you need a guy that looks like a frogman, Footsore North America's got you covered.
Yeah.
Well, here you go, Bill. Now you can get your aquarium going and have a little bit.
Nice.
Right.
I'm trying to bring up a picture of them. I'm on the Footsore Miniatures website.
Collection pulp miniatures, and then scroll down to Naga.
Oh, they're pulp miniatures?
Yeah, it's in their pulp
Gotcha.
miniature collection.
Okay. Well, that's all right. Move on.
All right. New from Deep Cut Studios, there's a new Stalingrad gaming mat.
Yeah.
So that looks pretty nice. And I was not real familiar with Deep Cut Studios. I spent some time looking around their site.
Uh-huh.
And they've got some pretty interesting products. So it's I don't know what it is in American, but the mats start at 27.90 euros. So it's available in sizes from 22 by 30, so for the little one, to all the way up to 4 by 6 foot.
Wow.
So they, ideal for war games. Obviously, you can use it as standalone scenery. You can use it as background for putting your terrain on and gaming on.
Uh-huh.
But you can get it made out of PVC.
Uh-huh.
You can get it made out of cloth, or you can get it made out of
Neoprene, right?
mouse pad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's a lot of options. Sir, in the back.
Thank you. So this may not come surprise to anybody right now.
You
So
bought
when we were
something?
moving Christmas stuff around, I found a whole shelf full of mats, game mats that I didn't know I had.
Shocker. Shocker. I
They're in the storage room on the top shelf. There's like 8 or 9 rolls. Some have nice cases. And I'm like, where the hell did these come from?
yeah, me too. Where the hell those come from? What up, bro?
We're gonna have to look at them at some point.
Yeah, I was gonna
and,
say we're gonna have to bust that out
yeah.
and see what's up.
well, now that we have this nice studio set up again, we can do live streaming in here, and we can do some games because we got stuff to talk about later. But once we get through the news, so
Right.
all right, continue on, sir.
All right, so from Warlord Games, not what you think it is, I bet. I am going to go with they've got a pre-order for a new release.
Ooh,
yeah,
pre-order. You know I like those pre-orders.
Well, I don't know if this is the one you
Oh,
want. Were you
okay.
looking for an M11/39 medium tank?
Is this for bolt action?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but that's out there for pre-order,
Mhm.
and it's one of the kind of mid-war ones that was
Mhm.
supposed to replace their what was their little tiny tank called?
The not the, was it
the
the
look-
Sherman?
No, the little it's
The Stuart?
no, it's
The Stuart.
no, it's an Italian tank.
Oh.
Fiat.
Uh,
Sorry.
Hold on. Let me.
no, they did make tanks though. I swear to God, if any of you
L3.
guys bring up the Italian rifle joke, I'm going to just shoot you now.
Well, no, we're bringing up the Italian tank joke, obviously.
I went through all of high school with some dumbass going, "Hey, you want a good Italian rifle? It's only been dropped once."
Yeah,
So
never
are
fired.
you going to shoot yourself now? Are you going to shoot yourself now?
But
Just thought I'd cut it off at the pass. Go ahead.
moving from
So that's
that,
for bolt action, right?
Yeah.
So wait a minute, is that an Italian tank or is that an American? Because it has an
So-
M designation.
So it as it says, it's heavily influenced by the design of the British 6-ton tank. The M11/39, the resultant variation, was the first modern armed Italian tank that would replace the numerous outdated L3 tankettes. Oh, here we go. In the Italian Reggio Eserito, ESER.
Heavily on the vowels.
Isorato, a medium tank with a pair of turret-mounted machine guns, designed to protect the tank from infantry assault, and a 37mm gun or a 47mm gun mounted in the hull for engaging hard targets. An operational range of 12 hours, capable of around 30 to 35 kilometers per hour. It saw action in East and North African campaigns.
Oh, I hope if I turn my brother's mic up
So-
there. Sorry, Chris.
Well, he's been very talkative.
Yeah, I
so,
know, right?
You know, how would you know?
You're almost reminds me of Jesse when Jesse's on the show. Jesse just kind of sits there.
Yeah.
And does this.
and then
Oh, wait a
Okay,
minute. We
no,
still don't have.
no,
Oh, you
still-
know what? I don't have your mic set up. Damn, man.
oh, it's so hard to find good help.
It is, right?
All right, so
Driving on.
I got a couple more. I got 2 more items here. So one is laser cut plants from Gamer's Grass.
Plants?
Yeah.
Laser cut plants. Yes. So it's out of the box, pre-painted plants. So you can, and I mean, you can bend these dudes up and they look super, super real. You know, so
I
it's
like pre-painted.
and it's almost more of a diorama thing than it is a gaming thing, I think.
Uh-huh.
But you can use them for either. And they've got a whole range of plants, as well as you know, if you're into sci-fi, they got some alien plants in
Sure.
there as well. But they're only $7.50 a pack, so
Okay.
they're not bad. You can get them through GC Mini in the US and UK. You can go through the Sprue Shop.
Nice.
But they're pretty cool looking. I was checking them out. I'm like $7.50. I have to see what shipping is on these. That looks all right.
So, you know, you can just go to your aquarium shop and just get plants for like jungle stuff,
Yeah,
you know, for like Vietnam.
sure. But I mean, these dudes,
That look good.
yeah, I mean, diorama level look good.
Nice.
Yeah. And then my final little bit, don't
Yep.
think I passed it over because I'm sure that you're aware of it. Epic Battles Waterloo.
Waterloo.
Warlord Games.
Yes.
So their pre-order is about up. I think they have everything available for sale right
They have Highlanders now.
now.
They have Highlanders.
So
There
there's
can only be one.
That's right.
there's a whole slew of bundles you can get if you go to their webpage.
Yeah.
The one that I would bring your attention to is the mega bundle for the princely sum of $815.
Hold on. Going to it right now.
I ordered 2 for you already.
Did you?
No.
Did I give you my credit card?
If we
Dude, that-
did, we'd all have a.
That's why I pay to buy a new car, not gaming stuff. You kidding me?
You epic battle. Dude, I still have all this Civil War shit in the boxes upstairs.
That's not true. There's a sprue or two of it that we painted.
Kind of.
We
$813. What do we get for $813? So let me look here.
you get a metric crap ton of stuff. I mean, when they say mega, they're not kidding. It is.
So you get the British starter set, British Infantry Brigade ×2, British Light Cavalry, British Heavy Cavalry, French starter set, French Infantry Brigade ×2, French Light Cavalry Brigade, Heavy Cavalry Brigade, the Le Hay Sant Scenery Pack,
Oh yeah, of course.
the Le Hay Sant Sandpit and Barricade, the Humont Scenery Pack, the British Napoleon paint set. You get everything, including rivers and roads.
Yeah, it's
For $800, roads better be laid and
Dear
the
Dawn.
rivers better be running.
Dear Dawn, I loved you. Please be kind in the divorce after I order this.
it was a good run. It was a good run.
That's really cool. If you're heavy into Napoleonics, I'm going to show you an option to Epic here in a little bit. We're going to talk about that. So that's really cool, though. That's what I mean. If you're really into it and you really want to get it going, yeah, definitely.
Now,
So
I went to the top of the line,
yeah,
biggest that
yeah.
So if this is something that you want to do, you don't have to get the $800 kit.
Right.
I don't mean to make it sound like that. You can get some more.
Oh, no, there's
reasonably
all
priced
kinds of
starter
options.
kits.
You could just get the starter box, which is I think 100 and something bucks.
that's 127
Let me pull it
or
up
something
here.
like that.
I have it right here. So the the starter set is 145 bucks.
145.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a little more reasonable, and those boxes are full of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
you're getting a lot of stuff. So if that's something that you're into, that's your jam.
I stand correct. Oh shit, I don't know.
But
There's so many options in here.
I was gonna say there's approximately, and I'm not kidding, 20 bundle sets.
Yeah. So yeah, depending what you go with, it's anywhere from 120 bucks on up. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I thought the straight up starter kit was 120.
Well, because they have the Waterloo Wellington British starter set, which is 145. They have the Waterloo Bonaparte's French starter set, which is 145. Then you go to the Waterloo British starter bundle, which is 264. I mean, it just goes and goes and goes, right? So there's just a lot. That's why we stick with the Civil War. It's so much easier.
Yeah.
There were two armies, the North and the South. There wasn't the British, there wasn't the French, there wasn't the Austrians, there wasn't the Germans, there wasn't the Prussians, and so on and so on and so on. But for color uniforms, and again, we'll talk about that here shortly, other options to this game. So that's pretty cool, though. Actually, it's pretty cool. I like it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. If this is your era for historical wargaming, go check it out.
And I know many people who make this their life mission. Wasn't Dad's
At $815,
the metal
it
figures
would
were
have
those
to
Civil
be.
War or Waterloo, or the Napoleonics, the ones that we made and painted as kids?
Civil War.
Those are Civil War.
Yeah.
All right, hold on a minute, guys.
Because
Time
I
out.
painted some of those too.
Time out. Hold on. Time out. I got to stop the recording real quick because I got to turn his mic on. It won't let me do it during the recording. So stand by. 5, 4, 3.
Stand by.
Really painted Civil War armies in my basement and big ones. Too.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the biggest,
I just pulled them out the other day.
the big ass.
Go ahead and talk, Chris.
Table your dad had.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay. All right. Going back to recording. Okay. We're back. Yes, I can see Chris's waveform now. All right.
Here.
Yeah.
All right. So those were Civil War, right? Then
Those
he
are
do
Civil War.
Napoleonics at one point?
Uncle Bob did Napoleonics.
Okay.
He liked Napoleonic better than Civil War.
Yeah.
He wanted more colors than blue and gray.
He did. Well, you got the soy vase that looked like gypsy Highlanders, and
Yeah.
he had a little color there, not much, but blue and gray.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
tiring.
there's a lot, like we were saying earlier, I'm like, I paint a lot of brown and green. Every now and then, I need to paint something else.
Yeah, I was just excited when Uncle Bob gave me the sharpshooters to paint in their forest green colors. Got
Nice.
tired, enough blue, now on to forest green.
All right. Any other news, sir?
That is it for the news this week.
Okay. So just one moment, please. Before the next podcast recording, I promise to you, I will create your intro and outro.
Oh, I wait with bated breath. Can't wait to see this train wreck.
What are you talking about? I thought Gaz's was awesome.
Gaz, if you're out, Gaz hated it.
Yeah, that's why he left.
No.
I was gonna say, Gaz, if you're out there, I feel your brother.
right.
I'm about to get the treatment.
In honor of our dear friend Gaz, who has been down sick and is recovering.
Oh,
This is
get
for you.
better, Gaz.
It's news time with Gaz. Give me the latest and greatest news. Oh boy, it's news time with Gaz. Come on, give it to me. Give me the news.
Nice. Nice.
So what's wrong with Gaz?
He had the vid.
Oh no, the Rona got him.
Yeah, the Rona got him. Hey, while you're filling,
Yeah, I mean,
it's hot, by the way.
holy cow, is it? I grabbed the side of this thing.
I think it boiled over.
It is definitely hot.
All right. So while we're refreshing, remember, buy merch. You'll notice a couple things. One, the sweatshirts are no longer available on the store.
What?
Because I'm not happy with the quality of the prints. If you look on the back of mine,
Did they? Oh, yeah, that's no bueno.
but it comes off too easily. So we're gonna look for a better supplier, or we'll just go back to making our own. Our shirts are standing up pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, how many times have they been washed, right? Well, okay. How many times has your wife washed yours, or you wash
I was
yours?
gonna say, did you say my wife? My wife? She does zero of my laundry, and I have the huge hamper in my bathroom to prove it.
Oh, that's
But
good.
but yeah, no, my t-shirt. I mean,
So buy merch. The mugs are still
it's holding up
available.
like a champ.
Also, Piotr, I just got a message from the shipping department, if you will, of our store saying that unfortunately they could not get you the pint glass from Europe, so they're sending it from the U.S. to him. So it might take a little bit longer, but it's on its way. I've been for whatever reason they don't have a supply of them in Europe, so they're coming from the U.S. But your coffee mug is on its way to you, my friend, if you haven't gotten it already.
Yeah. Yeah, because 5-part series there. Come on.
So
Super
speaking
contributor.
of which, I think I'm going to get a supply of these and we'll give them out as guest gifts.
Absolutely.
You're not a guest. We had to buy our own.
Okay.
He's a guest. Unless he starts becoming regular in the show.
Yeah, I was gonna say unless he shows up in 2 weeks, in which case, bring your own damn coffee mug.
You guys haven't approved my contract yet.
You know what? I'll give you twice what I'm getting paid for this.
You do get free minis and paint.
Nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there will be a fight over some Spectre and my Dragon miniatures after the show. There's probably gonna be a battle royale as well as a rating of the new treasure trove of game mats.
Nice.
All right.
Those game mats sound interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's
You're like-
some that are really geared towards 40K. So
Nice.
yeah. So all my 40K stuff sitting over there
Oh, it's
in boxes.
I was gonna say it's neatly boxed and unopened, so it should be safe.
Right. Shut up, Mary.
I set aside the towel for you.
What towel?
I
Towel.
told you I had
Towel.
a towel.
Oh, towel.
Not towel. towel.
I got really worried when he said towel, and I'm like, "What towel are you talking about?"
Oh,
Chris?
not his happy towel. I hope. Oh no.
No.
All right.
Keep
So-
that to yourself.
To go along with the end of Marty's news and
Yeah.
something to pull Chris into.
Yeah.
One of the games that I've been looking at is what we were talking about last time we were here,
Uh-huh.
or after the podcast. We were talking about Middle Earth, and so I've been looking at that.
Yeah.
And I remembered while I was been looking at the rules and everything. I have a old license for Army Builder, so I looked all that up and I found it, downloaded it,
Mm-hmm.
and and you were looking at it as well. And
The Army Builder list building software.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
and
The
what I'm
license
shocked
that he
about-
got like 12 years ago and hasn't used.
yeah, but what I'm surprised with is how much modern wargaming games are in that Army Builder.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spectre's
Well,
in
I mean,
that.
they continuously update it. I thought I read something though they said the people who created it are no longer active, and somebody else took it. I could be mistaken on that. I can't remember. I thought I saw something.
Spectre was updated on the 30th of
Well, I think they let
of
users update.
January. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's a community, open source kind of thing.
Nice.
But yep, folks are interested.
I used to
in it.
use it when I played Bolt Action on the line. I mean,
So there's
Yeah,
bold
right.
action.
So-
there's that armies or
Flames of War.
yeah. All right.
what's the ship one that we're gonna be playing?
Oh, Victory at
At Sea.
Sea. Yep.
Yeah.
Although
Nice.
that one's really old, so I don't know.
So, brother Chris.
Yes, sir.
So
I know
it-
you were a big user of Army
I
Builder.
was until 40K shut them down and said you can't.
Yeah, because our 40K has their own list building software, right now,
Well,
right?
they gave too much detail, so
Oh.
people could get around buying codexes by the amount of detail.
Oh.
So,
Oh,
40K.
Those rascally
Games Workshop
rascals.
said no.
So I was gonna say if you have that product though, go see what they've got because it's still there and something was recently updated.
Was the towel recently
I
updated?
didn't. I didn't look at it because I don't play 40K, but
Well-
it's on the list and it's one of the ones that's been fairly recently updated, like within the past couple months.
So I promised my brother that, life has gotten in the way, and unfortunately, he's got kids that are still at home.
No,
and,
fortunately, he has kids.
well,
like his
what I'm
kids.
saying, would you
Wait,
shut up
why
for a
did
minute? Shut up. Whatever. Silencio. Por favor.
Claire and Jake are okay.
Yeah,
You
they're
can
okay.
keep them.
What I'm saying is that life gets in the way, so we haven't had a chance to spend a lot of time together. And one of the things that my brother and I, besides me trying to kill him as a kid, rappelling off the
A few
swing
times.
set, rock climbing. Those are two of the most recent examples I can think of trying to kill my brother. Set the house on fire, things like that.
Just at one time. Well, then there's the
Shooting
other
in the
time.
basement.
Shooting in the basement. Hey, you ever tell Dad that story?
We did, but I think he was like 70. Which was just a couple.
He's still alive. Don't. We're not talking like he's gone. But, I mean, but
it's only 73. So
Yeah.
it was just recently told me.
yeah. When we were in high school,
Had to wait
my
for
dad
the
was a
statute
cop.
of limitations.
Right,
Yeah, my dad was a cop, and in high school, we were left home alone a lot as kids because my parents both worked one or two jobs. So, we had a lot of independent time.
Unsupervised time.
So,
And
my dad,
and we were good at picking locks.
very good at
Yeah.
picking locks.
Is it wrong?
So, kids out there, do not do what we're about to say.
Yeah, we are all lucky that we're still
The
alive.
SITREP podcast will not
Especially
be held
driving
liable
around.
for anything that is said
Yeah.
during this program. And at no time is this an example or an instructional manual on how to do these things. Our legal department will refuse all claims.
So no kidding, there we were.
Yeah. We have a lot of those.
So my dad had a gun box. It was one of those cheap metal things you get from Walmart that you put your valuables in, and it's got a really crappy lock on it.
Yeah,
So we took jeweler screwdrivers and we put them in there, right? And he had a little 380, little semi drop, crappy gun. And so
no,
my
you
brother-
were saying it right the first time. I'm like 380. Why did your dad?
Anyway,
carry on.
I did not say that. I'm not implying that. Anyway,
Ham sandwich.
so in our basement was finished. That's where our bedroom was, and my sister's bedroom, one of my two sisters. And we had a closet that went, kind of like in this room, the closet there. If you opened it up, we had shirts, so Dad had uniforms, his army uniforms and crap in there. Well, if you spread the uniforms apart, there was this beautiful white wall back there.
Uh-huh.
So we
Perfect
would,
for mounting a target.
right. So we had our own indoor range.
Very clear backstop.
So-
in all honesty, it started
Innocently.
gently. It was like rubber, I don't know, pellet gun.
Yeah.
Yes, and so that just wasn't doing it for us. It wasn't loud enough.
Wasn't dangerous enough.
Didn't make a big enough hole.
Well, no, I mean the 3.8 made a little tiny ass hole, right? You know.
A lot of them.
So
Yeah. But
the funniest thing was
I want to know.
I never heard about it when they moved their house where you now live because you bought Dad's house. Did he ever say anything to you why there was all these holes in the wall in the basement?
Nope.
What I want to know
Yeah,
is
what got us on the topic once is I said, "Hey, Dad, remember the closet in the basement and how there was occasionally little holes in the louver door?" And he's like, "Yeah, I always wondered how they got there." I'm like, "Well, let me tell you."
so,
That's not at the house you're at now.
No.
What-
This is at the other.
The
old
cross
house.
street court. The
Yeah.
one you walked in the middle of the snowstorm.
Yeah.
The only person my parents ever let spend the night.
ever.
Ever.
Of your friends.
Of my friends.
Yeah. What I want to know is, okay, so you're firing the gun, little 380. Good. All right, kudos. Where are you getting the ammo from? Did Dad not notice his ammo supply going down?
You know what? I never thought about that.
Well, I didn't either. Now, like, way to go, Marty. See, my dad's totally oblivious.
Because I'm like, I promise you, I might not have noticed the holes in the wall. Be like, where the hell that box of ammo go?
Yeah, you
Well, it
remember
was
back
cheap
then,
back then.
ammo was cheap.
Yeah, it's true.
And when we'd go down to Hillbilly Nation, we'd fire off a lot of ammo, and Grandpa would just hand him more.
Yeah.
Hillbilly Nation being Tennessee, by the way.
They say that lovingly. They have
Yes.
family there.
Well, we're our family's from Tennessee on my
Right.
dad's side, so we spent our summers in Tennessee.
We're just displaced hillbillies.
This
We'd
is
rather
true.
be south of the Mason.
This is very true.
Oh, you only got to go to I-80 because teeth and shoes become
No.
optional south of there.
We don't want to be Illinois hillbillies. We'd like to be.
We want to be the real deal.
Again, I concur on that one as well.
So, which is funny because I tell, because I met somebody at work who's from Tennessee, and they're from the eastern portion of Tennessee, and they call themselves hillbillies. He said, we start talking, and reality is we're not hillbillies. We're river people. We're from the river side of Tennessee.
rats.
Yep.
River rats. We spent times in the floodwaters, fishing for stuff. And so I got in this big
Bottoms, yeah.
philosophical debate with this guy from Eastern Tennessee about Western Tennessee and who's better and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, he definitely let me know I'm not a hillbilly. And to which I went, "You're right. I have all my teeth."
Yeah.
And that was that.
It's like, whatever. Neither of you wear shoes. So,
Anyway, all right. Can we get back to wargaming now?
sure. Yeah. Why not? Yeah,
All right.
like a thing.
So, in today's topic, we're talking about Waterloo to World War III. So, starting with Waterloo. Why are we talking about Waterloo, Marty? Because
But what warlords got all their
Right.
shit out.
so I'm looking.
Everything.
So I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, there's a ton of rule sets out there for Napoleonics. I mean, a lot of different rule sets. I mean, if you think about it, Napoleonics probably has the most rule sets of any
well,
conflict.
there's
or-
been Napoleonic wargaming
Since
since
Napoleon.
Napoleon because that's how they trained officers back then.
yeah. So
And it helps that he was the same height.
Yeah.
28 millimeter.
Yeah.
Yeah. He used 1:1 scale and 28 millimeter. So I'm sitting there thinking about it and going, all right, what are some other rule sets if you're not going to invest in the epics scale or sets? So one of the rule book, believe it or not, I have rule books for this genre. Surprise.
Yeah.
Shocker. This is second edition black powder with somebody's scratching there.
Sounds like you.
Yeah, I think it's that mic's cord there. Okay. Anyway, so I have second edition, and I believe it is signed. Did it get signed? I thought it got signed. Oh, what?
I can sign it for you later. It's fine. I have a Sharpie.
Anybody got their cell phone near? Yeah, I think it was a cell phone interference. All right. Anyway, I've got. It was supposed to be signed. I think. Oh, you know what? It's the supplement. There's a supplement for this. That's signed by. I think it's Rick Priestley.
Ooh.
Anyway, Rick Priestley, if you don't know, he's the one that writes a lot of the big rule books.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got this in the Epic Battles Civil War set, and it has the. So this is an option because obviously there's Napoleonics in here, Civil War, American Revolution.
Which set
English-
of rules is that again?
This is Black Powder, Warlords Black Powder rules.
Gotcha.
Was that in the
It
Army
is.
Builder?
It is in the Army
Yep.
Builder. Yep.
So now that's a good for 20 millimeter skirmish. I don't think black powder in of itself is good for mass battles, right? And you're talking Napoleonics, you want a battlefield
Huge
full,
scale.
right?
Yeah.
So what is the alternative? Believe it or not, oh, I think it's your cord, actually. Yeah, it's your cord. Can you push that in? Oh man, we're getting on.
That's what
I'm
she
gonna
said.
silence him up. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it clicked in. All right, good. You can just leave it. I'll take those. Thank you, sir. All right.
It's a beautiful little book.
Yeah, I'm going to put your mic back on hot. All right, back on. This is for later.
Oh.
So, at Adepticon, the last Adepticon they had, I invested, believe it or not, in Napoleonics because it's micro scale. It's 6 millimeter,
Right.
right? And this rolled set is and my French is terrible, by the way, sorry, is Et Sans Resultat, which is this beautiful book by the War Gaming Company, okay? And we'll go over in detail on this, but it breaks everything down, color codes it. It has in here somewhere, or it might be in another book, it shows you how to paint the different uniforms and colors.
Nice.
And all that good stuff. So there's scenarios in here, but it's all color coded. So it's color coded. So the pages in here go to that rapid chart.
Oh, look at that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got a nice quick reference guide right
Yeah.
here. And it's a 1-page quick reference
Well,
guide.
both sides,
Yeah,
but still.
It's not like
But this one's meant for mass battles at 6 mil. You could use 6, 10, God forbid you can go down to 3 mil. It's like a think. But I have two, believe it or not, I have 2 complete armies upstairs. Still in the box.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there you go. Say it the right way.
So
This is a nice book. Too.
it's a very nice book. And I think there's actually a second edition coming out. So yeah.
Let's see. When is this?
So if you're looking at options for Napoleonics, there is obviously many, many different rules. Depending, what I suggest you do is either look on the tube for video playthroughs or talk to somebody who's heavily into Napoleonics, because somebody asked, I think on the Warlord Epic Napoleonics site, I think it's Epic Waterloo I think is the title of it.
Yeah.
What other rule sets are out there? And the pages explode. Oh, you can use this rule set, you can use this rule set, right? So there are a gazillion different rule sets out there.
And maybe a good way to be able to get into that, as well as a little bit of playthrough and intro to those rules, is check out your local clubs and game stores and see what they're playing.
Right. Exactly. So at some point, when we get through some of the other projects, we might, dabble into some, since Napoleonics is hot right now, we might as well throw out some of those armies. And I got the armies, I got a little bit of mini terrain, and we have 3D printers, so
Right.
we can print all the terrain we want.
True
So,
that.
I have files. I have 6 millimeter files. So
And even if it's not 6 millimeter,
yeah, we can shrink it down.
we
It's
can-
a big deal, right?
Yeah, we can scale stuff down.
We can scale it down. So
Because one of my side projects I'm eventually going to pull the trigger on is I'm a fan of Battle Space.
Yep.
Robert Salters, Table Salt Gaming, love your show. Excuse me.
speaking of which,
So but
have we heard? Yeah, I was finish your thought, and then we'll talk about phase 2.
He's got
Yeah.
fleeting thoughts. So
yeah, so
He's got
but-
short-term memory loss.
right. But what a project I'm going to do as my own little side project is I'm going to make Epic Battle Space. So my goal is to make it like probably 6 mil dudes,
Nice.
tiny terrain. It'll come self-contained in a box like the size of my laptop.
Yeah.
And so all the shit will be inside the box. You open up the box, you dump it out. You flip the box over, and the terrain is
built
the
in.
game mat
Nice.
that's built into the outside. And then you put your little dudes up there and play your game. That's my idea.
And I do have the files for the modern. I backed that modern 3D print. I think Chris Long produces them as well. He has the commercial license. I just have individual license. We can make 6 mil out of those guys.
For 3D quartermaster?
Yes.
is it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I backed that Kickstarter, so I have all those files.
Oh, sweet.
So we can make you some 6 mil dudes.
Yeah. So
There you go.
some little special forces operators, and then a bunch
The
of
amazingness of resin printing.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a good idea. So speaking of that, have we heard any updates on Modphius?
So the only update that I've heard from Modphius doesn't have anything to do directly with his game. Moving up in they have a lot of stuff going on.
Mhm.
doesn't have anything to do with actual production, but the new year they are offloading a bunch of their stuff.
Are they really?
Yeah, so they're no longer supporting or producing a whole laundry list of games.
Really?
Uh,
Look. Are they getting rid of
if you-
Fallout?
If you go, no, that one I don't recall that they're getting rid of. But if you go to Modphius's webpage and look on, I think it's on their blog or news.
Mm-hmm.
They've been kind of ramping down some stuff, so hopefully that means they'll be able to ramp up some stuff, and then we can see the super deluxe edition of Robert's Battle Space game come to fruition.
Gotcha.
Looking forward to seeing that.
Interesting. Because I mean, they do Star Trek RPG, which.
Yep.
Do you remember back in the day we did Star Trek?
Had the huge blueprint.
Yeah.
The Enterprise.
Yeah.
And the D10 class. Hulk or Klingon something. Or
Yeah.
Bird of Prey.
Bird of Prey.
whatever.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if you can see it. I have Indiana Jones RPG down here. Remember when we played that?
Nice.
Yeah.
And then I have James Bond down there. So
Bond.
Bond.
James Bond.
Right. That's interesting. Okay, so we need to reach out to him and say, dude, what's the dealio?
Yeah.
You know?
So I traded messages with Robert around Christmas,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, Modphius be Modphiusing. when
I'll have
they
to
get
reach out
to
to
it, they
Chris.
get to it. So
I'll reach out to Chris.
So Modphius had they put something out on Facebook. I don't remember what it was. Some generic
Yeah.
sponsored ad, right? And every time I see one of those, I comment on, "Where's my battle space?" I want my battle space.
I actually
Bring it.
know the owner of Modphius, so maybe I can
But I mean, they
twist his arm.
have a
little bit.
huge catalog, because
Actually, I'll have Don reach out to him. He
They-
likes Don better.
they scoop up a lot of these smaller
Doesn't
games.
everybody?
Yeah.
So
Smart ass.
they
Yeah.
they scoop up all these little games and
Yeah.
try to bring them to full on production.
Right.
So
When is Adepticon speaking? Because there's a tie-in here.
23rd through the 27th of
Of
March.
March 23rd through 27th.
Yeah, I remember that because the 23rd is my birthday.
Yeah, we'll be just getting back from Florida then.
Yes, but I will be there.
So I'm trying to decide if we're going to go cover like Saturday. We might. And I'm trying to convince Dawn to do some of her old camera work,
Right.
presentation. Everybody loves Dawn. They know Dawn. She can get good interviews. We'll see. Hopefully I can convince her. She won't do the historical stuff, which is fine.
Whatevs.
Anyway, all right.
It's also a good place to get games that you want to get into, like that mega set, at a better price, right?
No,
Game show
Oh.
prices.
no, the prices really aren't that much better, to be honest with you.
I was gonna say I don't
You
know.
have
that
you have a captive audience, so the prices really aren't that better. You
Anything
might get
off
a
of
deal on
$800.
Sunday. On
Yeah.
Sunday, as they're packing up, and they want to take less back with them, they might give you a little bit of a break, but typically it's pretty standard.
I'm just saying 2% off of $600.
Yeah, I mean it's still a good price. All right,
as well as there's a lot of other vendors there, so
Yeah.
you may have you pay whatever you pay for your starter set, but then you're like, hey, I want a battle mat, I want
Mhm.
I want some little terrain,
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all sorts of dudes over there at the exhibitors hall.
All right, let's transition out of Waterloo. So there are many options for Waterloo. We will go through this rule book at some point and play some games on it. I don't know. We might even be able to use this table, for $6 million, or we can use that if you really want to get a feel for.
Yeah.
But it'll take us like forever to take a booth. Here we come. Because remember, they did all that line up and shoot at each other crap. Well, they didn't have rifled barrels,
Right.
so they were smooth bores.
Yeah.
So
and
your chances of
and-
getting hit were very slight, actually.
and they're all muzzle loaders,
Yeah.
so it took a while to get things done.
Yeah.
It's not like he's got a 240 Bravo and he's mowing dudes down.
Right. So okay, so we move out of Waterloo. We already had the epic Civil War, so we'll definitely get those on the table at some point. Moving up, we're now into the 1870s, 1880s. Rourke's Drift, 1879, January 22nd, 1879. So we'll be playing turn 7 through 12 today.
Yep.
Oh, by the way,
If you make it that far.
if we make it that far. Speaking of which, part 1 has been compiled. It's up. It's ready to go. And yeah.
I noticed when I relinquished command, the whole battle fell apart.
No. The battle did not fall apart.
The Zulus had some really good turns.
I'm guessing after the first wave of Zulus were repulsed and they had time to go to close order, the British didn't go to close order.
No. So what? So without giving away the video,
I didn't give him time.
What happened is we actually repulsed an entire impy that was coming up. And because the rules now allowed after a certain turn, was it after turn 3, they could come on anywhere on the board. So they came on the short side and just loaded on us. And the guys, Lieutenant Andorf's platoon fought valiantly.
Yeah.
To the death.
Literally to the death.
Yeah.
Any of them, yes.
All of them
Except
one. So
including himself.
yes.
But as you can see, he got all those dudes in the redoubt. They're close ordered, and that's a long.
So I have Lieutenant Shard in the redoubt. I have Color Sergeant Bourne, who's coming around who will come into a lineup.
Color Sergeant Bourne.
Right. And then Hookie's defending the other side.
Okay, we'll make a soldier of you yet.
And then Sergeant Windridge is kind of in the middle of the compound, depending on what happens now, because we now observed Zulu Impy that was attacking across the corral is making a wheel motion, right? They're coming around the other side. So they should be able to adjust. You still have Lieutenant Bromhead holding off that one wall. And they keep pushing and he volley fires, and so far so good.
Yep.
The reality of it is that the numbers are on the Zulu side. We're not going to hold the entire compound. We just have to survive till daylight when the reinforcements arrive. So
I was going to say, because the victory conditions are,
one guy.
You have to get tabled.
Yeah,
pretty much.
You have to be. There has to be one unit not pinned by the end of turn 12. So as long as the Zulus, as long as the Brits can hold out, then we win.
I mean, realistically, them dudes in the redoubt, they are super tough.
Yeah. So we know that eventually
360 degrees.
Yeah. So we know that we're going to end up collapsing the compound and holding, pretty much the redoubt. And historically accurate.
Historically, that's what happened.
And in the last couple games I've played, it happens every time. That way, there's just too much territory, too much land for a small British force to hold when you have that many Zulus that keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. So, you collapse down and you just got to hold out till the reinforcements come. So, but we'll see if we make it to turn 12 or if the Zulus will overwhelm, and we'll go from there. All right. So we got through 1800s. World War I. What do we say about World War I? I don't play World War I. And as somebody eloquently put the other day, trench warfare is boring.
I was going to say, the nature of the battles. I mean, it's not.
Yeah. I mean, they make beautiful tables if you do a really nice, not just a mat down with some terrain, but if you do an actual trench warfare table, I've seen a couple, they're gorgeous.
Yeah,
but you have your Brits or Americans and the Germans go to no man's land, you push back, and eventually you hope that somebody gets into the other trench, but it's a lot of just ping, 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 ping,
Yeah. And,
well,
unless you use mustard gas, and then.
Other than the trenches, the rest of the table is just, desolation.
Yeah, it's no man's land. So
it
makes a beautiful diorama more than a game. Jim would probably say, hopefully Jim will be back in the next show, if not that one, the one after that. But I think we're doing fine by ourselves. So far, we haven't had a seizure of anybody. So, historical seizures.
Day's not over yet.
That's right. So he'd probably say on a what would you say, battalion, brigade, division level, the high level games, those, so like an Avalon Hill game.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is definitely something you want to play where you are the general of the armies kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because when you get down into the smaller battles and smaller units.
Yeah.
Like you said, oh great, I moved my dude 4 inches to the left in a trench. Super exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it can be a little challenging for that. Although there's some good rule systems out there if you want to play it. By all means.
Yeah. So another thing, So moving out of, well, I mean, you could do some naval warfare in World War One. The U-boats versus, aerial. You know what? What is that game we saw where they actually have the big biplanes on the stands? And
I'm trying to remember now.
yeah, Wings of something or I
Wings
don't
of
remember.
Glory?
Yeah, it might be it. But there is that. So I'd have Snoopy. I would totally have Snoopy.
Can you do Blood Red Skies with World War I?
Yeah, I think you can actually.
Yeah.
So moving into World War II, obviously everybody's go-to game would be bolt action or combat. What is it? Bolt action is the big, or Flames of War.
Yeah.
And then there's, what's the other one? Two Fat Lardies. I keep wanting to say
Chain of
combat
Command?
Chain of Command. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have those rule set. We should play it. It's actually a
Yeah.
really good game. Believe me, I have that rule set.
And then there's also Memoir 44 seems to be very popular. It's a little lighter game.
It's a board game, lighter game. It's a good way to get people in that don't play it. But I mean, if you're looking miniatures based, bolt action's good. You play bolt action. So I equate bolt action to bolt action is the equivalent of Warhammer 40K for historical people. In a sense. I mean, it's not a one-to-one comparison, but that's how I compare it. It's a skirmish-based game. You roll a lot of dice. You have a very basic factor, and then you add all your modifiers. And a rifle's a rifle. It's not an M1 versus it's a German rifle. Is it Mauser?
Like a Mauser.
Yeah. So you have rifles, you have pistols. So one of the biggest arguments if you've been following along for a long time on this podcast, one of the biggest arguments I have against bolt action is a rifle can only shoot 12, 16 inches at the max range.
Something like that.
So literally, like when you play, when you're taking the bridge in D-Day, the Pegasus, you can't shoot across the bridge.
I was gonna say, you can't shoot across the entire bridge. You can't shoot from one side to the other.
So because they say your range is only this. So, yeah, but bolt action is a very popular game, and a lot of people love it, and there's nothing wrong with it. I actually enjoy it. It's fun. It's not the most historically accurate game, but you know what? Sometimes you just want to have fun, right?
I was gonna say that.
Yeah,
that's why it's called a game, not a simulation or a recreation.
Yeah, it's not a historical simulation. Yeah. I've got several bolt action things over there. I got painted guys up. I actually have painted assembled guys upstairs. We actually have played bolt action. So, So,
what about Ultra Combat Modern?
Ultra Combat,
Combat
Normandy. Yeah. I have that rule book here somewhere.
We've got that.
Same here.
Yeah, we haven't had a chance to actually play it. We played the modern version, not the World War II version.
Right. Yeah.
So that's a good one. It's from our friends over at Dish Dash Games.
Yep.
So there's just a ton of World War II. I mean, outside of Napoleonics, World War II is probably your next biggest one. As far as offerings, options, and models and things like that.
All the different theaters.
Yeah. So Jim's big in the Pacific, which is
Well, Jim's also big in.
He's a Marine. You got to go where you know, right?
He does a lot of Stalingrad.
He loves his Russians. I think he's a secret commie.
Look at his last name.
He likes
just saying.
Johnson.
He likes to play.
No, I'm talking.
Oriskany.
Yeah,
Oriskany is the name of a battlefield in the American Revolution.
That's in New York, dude.
So okay.
But but Jim does like to play. Oh, I'll be the Germans. I'll be the Russians. Sure, I'll be the North Koreans.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
And I'll tell you what, he stomped my ass as North Koreans.
He stomped a mud hole in your ass.
Damn it.
Well, I didn't understand how those tanks worked.
I was gonna say, but yeah,
because I didn't know, the effectiveness of those non-linear munitions where I could just launch them.
Yeah.
And pepper an area, for whatever. It was challenging putting armor through a mountain. Right through valleys and in North Korea, South Korea, and the DMZ. So what rule set was? Oh, that was Battle Carrier Sabo, right?
Yes.
That's our own rule set. That's actually a SITREP podcast rule set.
That's right.
So Jim made for the.
I was gonna say, and that's why Jim won, because he was using his rule set.
Now, to be fair, I have won. I think our record is I still am up on wins.
Yeah, but I'm saying he kind of has home field advantage there because
yeah, he knew those
is
rules.
intimately familiar with the rules.
I mean, in that territory and those rules, I think he did actually have the advantage, which is fine. You know, you can't always have the advantage. So,
well, that's the other thing about warfare. You know, people, we've talked about this in the past on it as far as games need to be fair and they need to be balanced. If you're fighting a fair and balanced war, your side sucks. You're doing it wrong.
Exactly.
Why would I fight you one-on-one when I can bring a platoon of dudes over and we can all just smoke you?
Right.
Yeah.
Usually the guy with the bigger guns wins.
Yeah.
Shock and awe.
Yeah. So, all right. So moving out, you got Korea. You have bolt action Korea. I think is the most prominent rule set out there. Unfortunately, I don't think it's got the traction because I think Warlord's clearing out the Korea stuff.
I was gonna say you don't really see
the
bolt action,
and I did not invest in it. I only bought one set. Chris, you're gonna appreciate this. I bought one set for bolt action Korea, the MASH.
I was gonna say MASH.
I probably would have done the same thing.
Totally saw that one coming.
Yeah.
I mean, it has Houlihan and Hawkeye and BJ and Girl Potter. It has Klinger, so.
He's a Disney princess.
I was gonna say, does it have Klinger in a dress? Though?
Yes, I believe it
Perfect.
does. So,
as well, it should.
I painted up Hawkeye, and he looks really good, actually. He's wearing his bathrobe with his silly cowboy hat and his martini glass. So,
again, as he should.
but yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I do, however, have an RPG based on Korea called. You ready for this? Mashed. It's literally. Is it here? It might be in the other bookcase. I think it's in the other. It's in the bookcase. It's right outside.
It's over by there.
But it is literally called Mashed, and you play characters in a MASH unit during Korea. It's an RPG. It's really. I haven't had a chance to play it because I don't have people. We should play it. We should get Dawn and
Be Houlihan.
Yeah.
You will all refer to me as Major or Hot Lips.
So unfortunately, Korea hasn't gotten the big push like it is. Then we get to Vietnam. Boy, is Vietnam exploding. Thanks to?
Yeah. Well, there's thanks to all of them because there's a whole bunch of dudes, but like Rubicon models.
Yeah. That stuff is nice.
It is really nice.
I'm gonna have to get some of those because my only thing is that they're multi-part plastic, which is nice for customization. But man, assembling all it's one of those things you have to have a party, where guys sit down and build them together and
it's kind of a labor of love.
Yeah.
But man, they got some sweet
and the
models.
Hueys look good. The Hueys look really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Which
then you
models?
Which
models?
They have B models.
They've got 3 of them.
I think they have B models. I think that you can make to a hog. And I don't remember what the other models are, but and I think that are they coming out with a Cobra too?
I'd
have to look.
I think it just came out.
Yeah.
I think it's already available. I've seen pictures of it.
But I've seen some really impressive Vietnam tables.
And then our friend Paul with Wild Buildings Kickstarter did a really nice Vietnam set for you guys that are able to 3D print. That dude is off the chain prolific with the amount of stuff that he just pumps out on a regular basis. And it's across a bunch of different eras and genres.
I do have the 3D print files for Vietnam terrain. So I think I have the Saigon stuff so you can print the embassy. So like the fall of Saigon and stuff.
That's right.
I just haven't had a printer big enough to print them. Surprise. Now we do.
Shocker.
Actually I thought about doing, if we're going to do bigger battles in like 10 millimeter or smaller, so we can use micro scale, but
split the
we could do 10 mil,
15.
So I don't know, but you got Bohica rule set coming out.
Right.
Right. What you laughing at?
Bohica.
So
we all know what that means.
So funny side story. When I was in the Army, when I was in Bravo Battery 211 Field Artillery, part of the 25th Infantry Division.
Tropic
Lightning. Yeah. So
we were strawberry.
We were the thunder of that lightning, and being in Bravo Battery, we named all our guns, and they all started with a B. So we named our gun Bohica. The battalion XO is down there on a Monday when we're in the motor pool doing our PMCS, and he's like, Bohica, huh? And I'm like, yes, sir. And he's like, what's that mean? I'm like, oh, it's a Hawaiian word that means awesome or powerful. He totally drank the Kool-Aid on it. 3 hours later, the sergeant major comes down there. And I mean, not even high, not parade rest, not Eddie. Just grabs me by the collar. Get that shit off. Damn it, man. Fine. Fine.
Bluebell.
Yeah. That's the bell. That's what it was.
So Vietnam is really hot right now. So then moving on to Vietnam, then of course you got Arab-Israeli wars, which is another big one of Jim.
Yeah.
I have Line in the Sand up there from TSR of all game
Right.
And then you move into the 70s, which was
Well, if you want to do like Africa, Rhodesia,
that's your
stuff,
mercenary. Remember Dad's Soldier of Fortune magazines?
right?
He had a subscription to Soldier. Why my dad had a thing to Soldier of Fortune? I don't know.
Because he probably knew some of the people in the articles from his time in the army.
It's possible, or he was just looking for an escape.
About
That's
that.
what I was thinking.
Well, if you were my kids, I would as well.
Yeah. I would have been taking
I'll stop
deployments.
right now.
Yeah, let's just do that. I think we all know what we're talking about.
So after the 70s, we get in the 80s, and then 1979 into 80, we had Operation. Is it Eagle Claw?
Yeah, whatever it was. The failed
The
mission,
failed
to,
mission to rescue the hostages in Iran.
which is what spawned both Special Operations Aviation as well as Delta Force.
Yep. And then
Yes.
83 happens.
Yeah, the Caribbean War Games.
Yeah,
We
right.
won first place.
Exactly. Grenada.
Yeah.
And then what really ramps up in the 80s, a couple of people joined the Army in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
You joined in the 80s or 90s?
90. I went in 90.
So, we're in the heights of the Cold War, right? I mean,
Yep.
I remember being in basic, and we had a class dedicated to identification of Soviet armor.
Remember
And
the
aircraft.
Remember the old decks of cards with
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Those were
Friend
awesome.
or foe, and
Yeah.
then you had the aircraft set, and then you had
Yeah.
the vehicle set.
Yep.
I actually gave my sets
God, I
to
hated those.
John in
It
Ireland.
was so bad at it.
So, piece of where John has, I gave him my set of armor identification cards.
There you go.
I
I
wonder-
thought he'd appreciate that.
I was artillery at the time, so I'm like, you got to give me some coordinates. I don't care what's there. You tell me what we're shooting and where we're shooting it at, and
Right, if I
I'll
can-
deliver it.
If I can see the silhouette, this big gun's doing me no good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember those, days of the bad commies are going to
Yeah.
come through Germany and,
all right, through the Fulda Gap
Yep.
and the reforger exercises back then.
who knew it wasn't going to be the Fulda Gap, but it was going to be a former Soviet country, right? Which we're going to talk about here very shortly. So, we went through the Cold War, and then 89 happens, 88 to 89,
So yeah,
Urgent
Panama.
Fury, right?
Yeah.
No, Urgent Fury was Grenada,
Urgent Fury was Somalia.
Somalia.
Or,
That's right.
No, take that back. Gothic Serpent was
Yep.
Somalia.
Yep.
Yeah,
Urgent Fury was Grenada.
sure. Yes, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
For the win.
So, anyways,
Final
we had
answer.
a rock concert for Noriega in Panama.
Yes.
We played some DC and all kinds of stuff. I didn't even think they played Waylon Jennings at one point. So anything to annoy the hell out of him.
Well, what annoyed the hell out of me was, it turns out, we're really bad at using our
We used our forces
We were
in a very wrong way.
we were super excited to be able to play with our toys, right? But they've got the Rangers jumping in, but are they landing at the airport?
Nope. Who's taking the poor airport?
They've got fucking SEALs going over there. That's not their
And they're
gig.
running across the open
That's-
runways.
Yeah. And no bust on the SEALs. What I'm saying is that's not their job or their
No.
mission set. Yeah,
That's what you have Rangers for.
Yeah, and you've got a battalion of them, coming in. That's your job. You do those things. You
Yeah.
take airfields, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you have the guys that train to do this for a living go do it, and then have the sneaky, creepy dudes that go kidnap people and shoot people in the face for a living go do that?
Right.
And then, of course, it was dark. We couldn't really see what was going on. We might have shot at some of our own guys. Although, I question why you would shoot at a paratrooper, because I'm pretty sure Panama didn't do a combat jump to propel us. So
Right.
I'm thinking if it's falling out of the sky, it's one of ours.
Exactly.
Again, I'm not good with
Yeah.
the friend or foe thing, but they don't have any airborne jumping in on us.
Because I mean, it's really Vorpalbright's in the house. Hey, Vorpalbright, how are you?
What up?
So, which annoys me. To your point, is what did we do with the Rangers in Grenada? They jumped in and took the airport.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's their gig. That's what they're
Right?
supposed to do, and it
Yeah.
worked. It was effective.
yeah. So I honestly think some admiral somewhere really wanted his SEALs to do their thing, and say, "Oh, we can handle this," because you have the 82nd jumping in or landing on the north side. You had the Rangers coming around here, and you had the SEALs coming in through the canal and taking the airport, right? Instead of the Rangers jumping into the airport, the 82nd holding the line, and then the SEALs should have gone in with Delta and taken Noriega out. We would have been done by midnight.
Yeah,
or whatever time, right?
Yeah, we could have all had breakfast together.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell?
So anyway, so we move out of Panama, we get into the 90s, and then the world goes insane.
Back up a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Forgot the war games we had in Libya.
Oh yeah, 83.
Do we really call those war games?
Well, there
or
was-
it
was
was
no
more like
ground war.
it was more like Missile Command, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
You know what? Say what you will about whoever's in office these days. I watched a video of Reagan's speech about Libya. Holy shit, that man could give a speech.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless of what your opinion is of
he
Reagan,
He could trash talk commies and dictators. Oh,
Yeah.
it was so good.
I mean, if that man could not make anybody in this United States feel patriotic, there is something definitely wrong with you. Because man, that guy could speech.
Yep.
I mean, his acting skills. He was not a good actor. Let's be honest. I've watched his movies; they're not that good. But he could give speeches.
He
So
was a better actor when he was in office.
I loved him being in
Yeah.
office because
Ronnie
the
Reagan.
army got whatever they wanted. That man spent money in
They-
the military like it.
Well, we'd just gone through a huge drawdown after
Mhm.
Vietnam, so there was a
desperate need.
a decade of just decay in our
Yeah.
military at the time, and he recognized that and said, nope, that's not how we're going to roll.
I had, and you probably did. We had steel pots in basic training.
Mm-hmm.
I had an M16, not an A1,
Yep.
not an M16 Vietnam era in basic training.
So did I.
I didn't get my
Yep.
A1 until I got to the 82nd, and then I got my K pot. Right.
Yep.
I actually got a K pot and jump skull, but through basic, it was steel pot. Everything I had in basic was pretty much Vietnam era.
Oh,
Yeah.
crap.
I was fortunate enough that I actually got a K-pot in basic training.
Did you?
But I had an M16. And I remember when you do the little obstacle course where it's the two of you going up doing buddy fire. Oh, there's a reason why they gave you like 9 mags to do that, because full auto, every time you stopped, you just mag dumped it into the berm. Conserve your ammo, private. Why'd you give me ammo? I ain't conserving nothing. That was so much fun.
So yeah, we had that. And you really can't war game that one in miniature space, but man, can you do it in DCS? F-14's taking on the Libyan MiGs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that is awesome. In VR, it's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Is one of the victory conditions that you have to drop a bomb on Gaddafi's swimming pool?
That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? But all right, so moving in the 90s, we had a little dust up in the desert.
That's right. Our first Desert Storm
Yeah.
there. Our first invasion of Iraq.
And then 93. October of 93, we had very dark days. One that really pissed me off. And I actually have a personal connection because some of my instructors at Eustis for Blackhawk School were actually there. There was one guy who was with the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
And then one was with the 160th. And so, they told us how it really was. So,
So for those of you that are wondering what we're referring to, generally we're preaching to the choir, so folks
Yeah.
keep up pretty good. But what we're talking about is Mogadishu. The whole Black Hawk Down incident there, where they went to go after a deed, and turns out they had a little bit of problem that day.
yeah.
And then it just got crazy after that.
Yeah. So that's we've actually played. I've done that in Days of Heroes, which is a board game, work counter game. And I think Jim and I have played it as well online. I think we did we do SITREP skirmish in that as well? I want to say. But moving out of there, then we get into, our next turns in the desert, and then 9/11 and everything that happened afterwards. And then, just for sake of time, we get to our current day.
Yep.
Are we back at the possibility of World War III?
Well, the guys in the Ukraine might be thinking that. Although, hey, to give it up to the Ukrainians, people are like, oh, they're a bunch of untrained ragtag dudes. They did repel Russia once in 2014 already, but there's a lot of Russian separatists inside their borders.
Yeah.
And that's a whole crazy situation that we could spend shows talking about. So we won't get too deep.
But they're
in the
fighting.
weeds.
They're fighting hard.
But
they've been fighting since 2014. In the contested frontier, if you will.
Yep.
You have Ukrainian and you have Russian-backed separatists who are trying to just be asses. But anyways, so leads us to modern combat, or 80s to modern. Many different rule sets. Ultra Combat Modern, which we actually battled in the Ukraine.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. It was essentially a 2014 scenario.
Yeah.
Where was a Russian scout squad versus an American infantry squad.
Yeah. So also, Vorpal Byte said, Twilight 2000 or 2022, which I still haven't gotten my set from Kickstarter, and I found out why, because that Kickstarter's so old. They have my old address. I've been living in this house for 4 years.
But I was gonna say, dude,
and they have my address from the previous house. So I have to reach out to Sweden again and have them resend it. So anyways, do you remember Twilight 2000? It was the RPG game, post-apocalyptic. We played it very small, very lightly.
Yeah, it was post-apocalyptic. I cannot say that damn word. Yeah, set in 2000. So it came from, so you would remember it from when you were 6.
No, we're in the 80s, dude.
Yeah. But literally that would have been a high school game for us.
Yeah. So I mean, we played a lot of RPGs and games back in the 80s.
Hey, you were always grounded.
Well, I was gonna say you weren't allowed to go anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Downstairs shooting guns in the basement.
So one of the games, Ultra Combat Modern, we've played that, and we did a Ukraine table, and I thought that was a really good game.
Yeah.
And we had Dan the Man. Did you know Dan's no longer associated with Polar Vortex? And our last podcast, he had comment. I didn't see the comment, but when we were talking about Polar Vortex, he says he's no longer associated with it.
Oh,
that's a shame.
I was not able to attend this year. I had to work, but Polar Vortex was a couple weeks ago there.
So it brings us to our friend Piers and everybody, Plastic Soldier Company, and this game right here.
Dun, dun, dun.
Battle Group North Hag. So if you're familiar with Battle Group, which is another good World War II set, it's probably Jim's favorite set.
Right.
We now have North Hag, which we'll play. I have, believe it or not, 2 starter armies. Somewhat assembled. Somewhat assembled.
You've even started putting them together?
Yeah. It's a good game. We will build a table and play it. We've got to play North Hag. I mean, it is definitely.
By the time we play it, Centag's going to be out.
Most recent update says Centag is almost there.
That's why I say. By the time we play it, Centag will be out.
So, guys, you guys got to let us know what's your preferred rule set for each of the genres we talked about, from Waterloo to World War III. There's bolt action moderns, I think. There's bolt action Vietnam. Chain of Command has a modern set out now, is my understanding, or they're working on it, because the Charge blog keeps posting things about it.
Yeah, and do they have a different game that's modern? I'm trying to remember what
they were building.
They were working on one,
because I saw it at Salute years ago. Salute's a game show in the UK in typically April.
Finished it now that I'm thinking about
it. They never did, because they demoed it at Salute and we covered it, but it never came out. Things other things happened. But Too Fat Lardy's also has Sharps rifles.
Yep.
So they do have a Napoleonic. I mean, there's
Black
again
powder,
so many rule sets out there. Go
Don't
ahead.
you have you two were supposed to play a game, Northern America, during wintertime?
Oh, that's Savage Frontier.
Savage
Yeah.
Frontier, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
we just got our Kickstarter. So
Yeah, so Tim was unable to get the rule set where he wanted him to, so he has not published the rules for Savage Frontier itself. Instead, we got the other ones, which I haven't received the rule sets yet. Those are being shipped out as we speak. Let's see if I can remember.
Oh, he's looking that up. Was
Yeah.
that Rogers Rangers and all that
Yep.
time frame?
Yeah. So you have, I think, French Canadians, and then Americans, and then Native Americans, American Indians, whatever the proper terminology is these days.
Indigenous personnel.
Yeah, whatever. So, that's a whole nother thing we could talk about for hours. We should have a separate podcast in politically correct.
No.
No. I'm a hard pass. I mean, I think that goes without saying just by listening to it. But once I put it out there, we're never getting that back.
Yeah, it's like a bullet. Once it leaves the barrel, it's not coming back.
You
So-
can't unring that bell.
No, you sure
Yeah,
can. Unfortunately,
so-
it's a sad time, and you can't really talk about things without fear of whatever. Anyways, reeling back into wargaming. So 2 quick review bites, if you will. The first thing is we're going to be doing a review of these paints here. I don't know if you can see them. Marty, can you hold those up to the camera?
I can.
Or whoever. Those are the Army Painter War Paints Air. So we'll do a review of those it looks good. In a future review video.
I have heard really good things. So
I've used them. I'll let you know my thoughts after. What I'm going to do, to be fair, is I'm going to order the exact same color in the Vallejo Game Mirror paints. And we will do a side-by-side comparison. I'm not going to order the Citadel ones because I won't use them. I don't use a lot of I did the contrast paints I use. I like the contrast paints. But Army Painter now has their
Speed
version
paint.
of
They will be coming out.
Yeah,
They're not out yet.
So that'll be one
So-
review. And to my friends over at White Dragon Miniatures, we received your box.
It's a pretty white box.
It came in a bigger white box.
Oh, okay.
But within this I'm like looking at it. There's 2 different scales of
Wait, what?
miniatures.
What?
There's 20 and 28. So
For reals?
for reals. So we've got. Here, I'll pass them around.
Yeah.
You got Afghani guy on a cell phone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You've got Soviet guys. You've got, looks like a British guy in 20 mil. Another British guy in 28 mil. I've got a Soviet grenadier looking dude in 28 mil. And I thought this was an American, but it's actually a British guy, or it could be Israeli. Because there's Israelis in here. I think that's an Israeli.
I'm confused by this little Russian dude. I mean,
He's your loader.
he looks great, but I'm like, if he doesn't have an RPG guy next to him, he's
Right.
gonna.
Well,
he's
these are
gonna-
samples of their new minis. These are some of their new lines. This is an Israeli Defense Force in 28 mil. And here's another one. They're really nice.
Look at that.
Yeah, this little Brit dude is
These are-
really nice.
Here, Marty, I'm going to give you that so you could.
Yeah.
So we'll do a nice review video of those miniatures. Those are from White Dragon. White Dragon makes really nice miniatures because
They
we have a
are.
lot of their Afghani stuff.
Yeah.
These are very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So these are some of their newer line, I believe. And we'll do a good video review on those. So
yeah, paint some of these dudes up, base them.
Yep.
But yeah, a lot of nice, good, clean detail in there.
So just catching up, Vorpalbite says he uses Ambush rule set from Victory Games from 1983, and plays in 54 millimeter scale.
Yeah, he likes those giant
I mean,
ones.
Jesus, where do you? How do you
Vorpalbite is playing with action figures.
GI Joe 12 inches? You know, I always thought about doing GI Joe war games. Wouldn't that be cool? I have believe it or not, I have a very nice collection of GI Joes upstairs.
I was gonna say we're all shocked to hear that, but yeah, there's
Look, we didn't have a lot as kids, so now that I have some cash, I get all the stuff I didn't get as a kid. And we lost all our GI Joe stuff years ago. We had a lot of nice GI Joe stuff back in the day.
Did you show the camera?
So I don't know if the camera will pick up that small, but
Oh,
you could probably show a 28 figure.
He could stand up.
Well, just show one. I'll see how it looks. Yeah, it's kind of blurry.
yeah.
Pull back. Yeah, it's kind of blurry because we're in fixed focus. So,
Yeah.
all right, guys. No, not Cobra like in 3 1/4 GI Joes from the 80s. We're talking Adventure Team GI Joes from the 60s and 70s.
That's right, with Kung Fu Grip.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Grip.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do have several of those GI Joes from your former person. Sorry about the comment. I didn't know she was friends with you on Facebook. So, anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show because we've got a battle to fight. Hey, Chris Long finally joins us as we wrap up the show.
Hey, Chris, if you call in, you could talk with us too.
Right?
Just saying, buddy.
Yeah. So, guys, this is kind of our new format as we get into season 7. You believe it's 7 already?
Well, it's not 7 years. So, I mean, that
No.
kind of throws you off when you say season 7, because I'm like,
It's actually, we started this in Chris Long was one of the original founders with me.
yeah.
Was it 2018? I think it was 2018.
Yeah, beginning of 2018.
July of 2018. So we're
Yeah.
in, 4 years. So yeah, we used to do seasons like a season was like half a year. And then we transitioned, like last year was a full year. Season 6
Sure was.
the whole year. So from now on, each season will be the entire calendar year. But we're around. It's season 7. We've been trying a lot of things. We had Patreon for a while, and I did. Some people ask, "Well, why don't you pay?" I'm like, I just felt funny about taking people's money. But as we,
I'll take it.
Just send me minis and paint. I'll be
Right.
fine.
I'd send me minis painted.
There we go. Yeah. I'm
oh, look, both Chris's
God,
like
serious.
pre-paints. It
No,
must
no.
be the name.
I spend so much time on my detail. Once again, we've had the conversation. I'm at a certain age. I have so many years till death. I can't paint the amount of figures I'd like to paint.
So you get to a point where you have your display minis,
I-
and then you have your wargaming minis that look good
I
from
see
this
a
far
commission
away.
opportunity.
Right?
That's what it sounds like to me.
Oh, we could do a commission service. Woo. Yeah. Well, not you.
I mean, he could like set it up.
Right.
Cut out paste it for you.
Yeah. So Chris, Vorpal Bright says Sergeant Rock happens to be my favorite DC hero. Not like they will give him his own movie.
Yeah, DC. I
Yeah.
don't know if they're gonna do you.
Justice on that.
Yeah.
one. And then Chris Long says so many seasons now. Yep. So, all right, guys, we're gonna go wrap it up because we got a game to play.
That's right.
So, we hope you enjoyed the show. Like I said, this is the new format where we do a live stream video. So you can watch us as you're, waking up. And then the recording obviously will always be available for later on.
Look forward to having some additional team members as
Yeah.
well as some guests in the future.
Yes.
So we'll still be able to talk to anybody on the interwebs.
Most definitely. And make sure you support the channel, buy merch. Right now it's pretty much just drinkware. We've taken down the clothing line until we can find a better supplier of quality merchandise.
Don't forget to get your official Jim Mariskini long story short shot glass.
Right.
I have mine. Oddly enough, it lives it lives in my painting box.
So you can get the pint glass with long story short.
Yep.
Obviously coffee mugs and stuff like that. I don't think we have the shot glass in the new supplier. I might have to transition to a different supplier that gives us more options. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, that's something we'll have to look at down the road. But guys, if there's any ideas for future battles, let us know. Remember, in June, we will be doing the anniversary of the Battle of Midway.
Yep.
and we'll work through those rules here in a discussion at some point as we figure out how we're going to do the admiral's table and then the battle table.
Yep.
So, all right, guys, we got to go fight some Zulus, or
We're gonna go fight some Brits,
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
invaders. Get out of my homeland.
Technically, you're the invader. You crossed the river and you weren't supposed to.
Yeah. You're not
Technically,
African.
you're not from that continent. So,
Long live the queen.
you know, you better hope she shows up to help you out because I'm bringing it all today.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you very much. It is about that time to close out the show. We appreciate it. And for Marty, Chris, and
Later.
brother Chris, this is Bill, and we'll see you on the next one.
You have been listening to the SITREP podcast. We hope you have enjoyed the show. Make sure you like and subscribe to all of our channels on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Discord. Remember to join us every other weekend for a new episode of the podcast, and don't forget our other programming on Wednesdays and Sundays. Thanks for listening.